Shalom, I am Rabbi Eliyahu ben Shlomo, and I'm about to reveal the divine one-minute ritual that has transformed my own financial reality from scarcity to lasting abundance. Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, abundance seems to flow to everyone else but you? I understand that feeling deeply. For years I watched others prosper while I struggled, despite my prayers and dedication. What changed everything for me, and what I'm about to share with you, is a sacred morning practice that takes just 1 minute, but realigns your entire day with the universal laws of prosperity. This isn't about asking for more, it's about removing the invisible barriers that have been blocking what was always meant to flow to you. The ancient sages knew this secret, but it's been hidden from most people, kept within the inner circles of those who understand the true relationship between spirituality and material blessing. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'll guide you through the exact spiritual technology that creates a direct channel between heavenly abundance and your everyday reality. This is the ritual that changed everything for me, and I've seen it transform hundreds of lives when practiced with true intention. The problem most people face isn't that they're not worthy of abundance, it's that they've been taught a relationship with prayer and gratitude that actually reinforces scarcity without realizing it. Each morning, most people wake up already connected to worry, already rehearsing lack, already practicing the very energy patterns that guarantee limitation will continue. I know because I lived this way for decades. I prayed longer and harder than most, studied sacred texts for hours each day, yet still found myself struggling to pay basic bills, watching opportunities pass me by, feeling the constant weight of not enough pressing down on my spirit. Then one night, during deep meditation, I experienced something extraordinary. An angel appeared to me. Not in the dramatic way Hollywood might portray, but as a profound presence of light and wisdom. This messenger didn't speak in words, but in pure understanding that flowed directly into my consciousness. The message was clear. I had been approaching the relationship between spirituality and prosperity backwards my entire life. I had been begging for abundance while energetically affirming its absence. I had been speaking gratitude while feeling unworthiness. I had been asking for divine intervention without first establishing the proper vessel to receive it. The angel showed me that prosperity is not something we chase. It's something we become aligned with through specific patterns of thought, speech, and intentional silence. Most profoundly, I was shown that the most crucial moment that determines your entire relationship with abundance is the very first minute after you open your eyes each morning. This 1 minute, before the world rushes in with its demands and distractions, is when the subconscious mind is most receptive, when spiritual channels are most open, when the pattern for your entire day is established. What you do in that first sacred minute quite literally programs your energy field for the next 24 hours. If you'd like to follow this prosperity path with me daily, subscribe now to walk with me through these ancient wisdom teachings. I share these sacred practices because they're too powerful to keep hidden, and I've made it my mission to help others access the prosperity consciousness that's their divine birthright. Let me explain the spiritual mechanics of how this works. In the Jewish mystical tradition, there is a profound understanding that the material world is simply a reflection, a manifestation of unseen spiritual energies that precede it. When we align our consciousness with abundance at the spiritual level, the physical world has no choice but to rearrange itself accordingly. This isn't magical thinking. It's the fundamental law of creation. The Hebrew word for wealth, osher, shares the same root as the word for consciousness, because true wealth begins as a state of mind that then manifests outwardly. The ancient sages understood what quantum physics now confirms. Observation affects reality. Consciousness shapes the material world. But here's where most spiritual teachings about abundance fall short. They tell you to visualize prosperity or repeat affirmations, but they don't address the subconscious programming that fights against your conscious intentions. They don't give you the precise spiritual technology to reset your nervous system's relationship with abundance at the deepest level. The 1-minute ritual I'm sharing does exactly that. It works at the level of soul, mind, body, and speech to create a complete circuit that allows abundance to flow naturally and effortlessly. Here's how to practice this transformative ritual. The moment you awaken, before checking your phone, before engaging with the day's concerns, sit up in your bed with your spine straight but relaxed. Place your hands palms up on your thighs, symbolizing your readiness to receive. Close your eyes and take 3 slow, deep breaths. On the first breath, become aware of your body, as a vessel for divine abundance. On the second breath, recognize that you are always connected to the infinite source of all prosperity. On the third breath, feel gratitude for this connection as if abundance is already fully present in your life. Then speak these words aloud with full conviction. I am one with the source of all abundance. Today, prosperity flows to me easily and joyfully. I release all resistance to receiving fully. I am worthy of great blessings. After speaking these words, enter 30 seconds of complete silence. This silence is not empty, it's tremendously powerful. In this sacred pause, you allow the vibration of your declaration to penetrate every cell of your body, every corner of your consciousness. You're creating space for the universe to respond. In this silence, simply notice your breathing and any sensations in your body without judgment. After 30 seconds, complete the ritual by saying, "Thank you for this day of abundance." So it is. Then proceed with your day, carrying this energy of aligned prosperity with you. This entire ritual takes just 1 minute, but its effects will ripple throughout your entire day, and when practiced consistently, throughout your entire life. What makes this ritual so powerful is not just what you include, but what you deliberately exclude. Notice that we don't begin the day by listing problems to be solved. We don't start with complaints or worries. We don't even begin with specific requests. Instead, we establish the fundamental energetic pattern of connection to source, worthiness to receive, and gratitude for what is already flowing. This creates an entirely different relationship with abundance than most people ever experience. There are also specific words and phrases that block prosperity, and I strongly advise avoiding them during your first waking hour. Words like can't afford, too expensive, not enough, hard to get, struggle, or difficult literally program your day for limitation. When you speak or even think these words, you're setting up energetic resistance to the very abundance you desire. Instead, become conscious of using words like flowing, receiving, aligned with, attracted to me, manifesting, and unfolding perfectly. Your language creates your reality far more powerfully than most people realize. Tell me in the comments which prosperity-blocking word or phrase you're going to eliminate from your morning vocabulary. Copy and paste. Today, I replace with and choose to prosper. I've witnessed remarkable transformations in people who commit to this practice. One of my students, a business owner who had been struggling for years, began this 1-minute ritual faithfully. Within 3 weeks, he reported that opportunities were suddenly appearing out of nowhere. A client he had been trying to reach for months suddenly called him. A business connection he never expected recommended him for a major contract. His exact words to me were, "Rabbi, it's as if the universe suddenly knows where I live." Another student, a single mother who had been living paycheck to paycheck despite working 2 jobs, started this practice daily. Within 2 months, she received a job offer with a 40% increase in salary and better hours. What changed wasn't just her external circumstances, it was her internal relationship with prosperity. She stopped seeing herself as someone who always struggles and began recognizing herself as someone worthy of ease and abundance. This shift in identity is what the angel showed me is at the core of true financial transformation. Let me be clear. This 1-minute ritual isn't about avoiding practical action. You still need to work, make wise decisions, and develop your skills. But when your spiritual foundation is aligned with abundance, your actions become more inspired, more joyful, and tremendously more effective. You'll find yourself naturally drawn to the right opportunities. The right people will appear in your life at the perfect time. Solutions to problems will come to you with remarkable ease. This is what living in the flow of abundance feels like, not struggling and straining, but allowing yourself to be carried by a powerful current that's always been there waiting for you to stop resisting it. I want to address something important. Some people worry that focusing on material prosperity is somehow unspiritual. The Jewish tradition fundamentally rejects this false division. In our wisdom teachings, the physical world is not separate from the spiritual. It's a manifestation of it. Material abundance, when approached with the right consciousness, is one way that divine blessing makes itself tangible in our lives. True prosperity isn't about accumulating for its own sake. It's about having the resources to fulfill your divine purpose, to support your loved ones, to help others, and to make a positive difference in the world. There's a profound Jewish teaching about this. Where there is no flour, material sustenance, there can be no Torah, spiritual wisdom. This acknowledges the practical reality that meeting our physical needs creates the foundation for spiritual growth. The 1-minute prosperity ritual I've shared with you today is designed to align you with this integrated understanding of abundance as both spiritual and material. Another key element of the morning prosperity ritual is what I call the angel code, the practice of consciously partnering with spiritual messengers who are assigned to help us manifest abundance. In the ancient wisdom traditions, angels are not just ethereal beings with wings. They are specific energetic forces that carry divine assistance into our lives. The morning is when the veil between dimensions is thinnest, which is why beginning your day with this ritual is so potent. When you invoke connection with Source during that first sacred minute, you are activating these helping forces around you. Many people sabotage their prosperity by beginning their day with what I call scarcity momentum. They wake up and immediately check their bank balance with worry. They scan the news for economic problems. They mentally rehearse their financial struggles while showering. By the time they've been awake for 30 minutes, they've already programmed their entire nervous system for lack and limitation. This ritual breaks that pattern decisively. It establishes abundance momentum instead, a powerful energetic current that carries you toward greater prosperity with each passing day. Think of it like swimming with the current, rather than constantly fighting against it. As you practice this ritual daily, you'll begin to notice subtle shifts in your awareness around money and opportunity. Things that used to trigger financial anxiety will lose their emotional charge. Opportunities you might have missed or dismissed before will become visible to you. Your decision-making will improve because it comes from a place of connection rather than fear. I've guided thousands of people through this process, and the pattern is remarkably consistent. The first week, most people notice a shift in how they feel, more peaceful, more open, more trusting in the flow of abundance. The second week, they begin to notice changes in their thoughts and attitudes, less worry, more creative solutions, increased awareness of opportunities. By the third week, circumstances often begin to shift. Unexpected income, fortuitous meetings, problems resolving themselves with unusual ease. By the end of 30 days of faithful practice, most people report that their relationship with prosperity feels fundamentally different. The ancient Jewish sages taught that 40 days of consistent practice creates permanent transformation. This is the time frame needed to fully rewire neural pathways and establish new spiritual patterns. I encourage you to commit to this 1-minute ritual for at least 40 days without missing a single morning. Mark it on your calendar, set a reminder, and make this sacred commitment to yourself. During this time, keep a simple journal noting any changes, however subtle, in your prosperity consciousness and external circumstances. This record will become powerful evidence of your transformation. Of course, there will be resistance. Your old patterns of scarcity thinking will fight to maintain control. You might forget some mornings, or your mind might dismiss this practice as too simple to make a real difference. This resistance is normal and expected. It's actually a sign that you're making real changes at a deep level. The key is to recognize this resistance when it appears and gently recommit to your practice without judgment. Remember that prosperity consciousness is your natural state. Limitations, blocks, and scarcity thinking are what's unnatural. They're conditioned patterns that can be released through consistent, conscious practice. You were born with a divine right to thrive in every way, including materially. This 1-minute ritual simply helps you return to that natural state of alignment with abundance. In my decades of guiding people on the spiritual path, I've observed that those who achieve lasting prosperity share a common trait. They establish sacred morning practices that set their energetic foundation for the day. This isn't coincidence. It's spiritual law in action. The morning hours contain special potency for manifestation work. The Kabbalistic tradition teaches that the hours between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. are particularly powerful for connecting with abundance energy. If possible, try to perform your 1-minute ritual during this window. However, the most important thing is consistency. Better to do the practice when you naturally wake up than to force yourself to wake earlier and then abandon the practice because it feels like a burden. As you grow in this practice, you may feel called to extend it beyond 1 minute. This is beautiful and should be honored, but always maintain the core elements: connection to source, alignment with worthiness, intentional silence and gratitude. Even if you expand the practice to 5 or 10 minutes, preserve the essential structure that makes it so effective. If this teaching has helped you, please leave a like and share it with someone who needs to wake up differently tomorrow. Practice this ritual for 7 days, then come back and tell me what shifted for you. I want to address a question many ask. Rabbi, what if I miss a morning? The answer is simple. Just begin again. Transformation isn't about perfection, it's about direction and return. If you miss a morning, don't waste energy on guilt or self-criticism, which only creates more energetic resistance to abundance. Simply acknowledge the miss and recommit to your practice the next day. The universe responds to consistent intention, not occasional perfection. I also want to be clear about something important. This ritual is not about manipulating the universe to get what you want. It's about aligning yourself with the natural flow of abundance that already exists. It's not about becoming more deserving. You are always deserving. It's about becoming more receptive. It's about removing the blocks that have kept you separated from your natural state of prosperity. I find it helpful to think of abundance like water. Water naturally flows downhill. This is its nature. You don't have to convince water to flow or beg it to move. You simply need to remove the dams and blockages that prevent its natural movement. Your prosperity works the same way. The 1-minute ritual helps you identify and release the internal dams that have been blocking what wants to flow to you naturally. Another powerful element of this practice is what I call prosperity breathing. During those 3 conscious breaths at the beginning of the ritual, you're not just filling your lungs with air. You're literally breathing in abundance energy. Imagine this energy as golden light that fills your entire body, dissolving any resistance to receiving fully. This visualization component adds another dimension to the practice that accelerates its effectiveness. The great Kabbalistic masters taught that visualization isn't just a mental exercise, it's a spiritual technology that helps shape reality at its foundation. When combined with sacred speech and intentional silence, it becomes extraordinarily powerful. This complete circuit, breath, visualization, sacred speech, and silence, creates a holistic approach that addresses prosperity consciousness at every level of your being. The results I've witnessed in those who practice it faithfully have often been nothing short of miraculous. And yet there's nothing supernatural about it. It's simply the application of spiritual laws that have always governed the relationship between consciousness and material reality. If you've struggled with prosperity, despite years of hard work and positive thinking, this ritual addresses what most manifestation teachings miss. The need to work directly with your subconscious programming first thing in the morning, before the analytical mind becomes fully active. This is why timing is so crucial. As you drift out of sleep, your brain is still producing theta waves, the same state accessed in deep meditation. This makes the transition from sleep to wakefulness a uniquely powerful time to implant new prosperity programming. By practicing this ritual during this special window, you're working with your brain in its most receptive state. This is the true secret to why such a brief practice can create such profound changes. I invite you to approach this 1-minute ritual not as something to try out, but as a sacred commitment to your prosperity. Approach it with reverence and consistency. Trust the process even before you see external results, knowing that internal shifts always precede external manifestations. Remember that you are reconnecting with what has always been your spiritual birthright, to live in the abundant flow of divine blessing in all its forms. If you found value in these teachings, please support our mission by subscribing to this channel. I'm dedicated to bringing these ancient prosperity secrets into modern application, sharing the timeless wisdom that has transformed countless lives throughout the centuries. The divine wisdom I share here bridges spirituality with practical prosperity in ways that can transform your daily experience of life. Now, I want to offer you a special invitation. For those who feel truly called to accelerate their prosperity transformation, I recommend expanding this practice into a 7-day prosperity immersion. Each morning, perform your 1-minute ritual faithfully. Then, throughout the day, set 3 1-minute reminders to pause, breathe deeply, and reconnect with abundance consciousness. These strategic prosperity pauses prevent you from slipping back into scarcity thinking and maintain your abundance momentum throughout the day. After 7 days of this expanded practice, you'll find that prosperity consciousness is no longer something you do each morning. It's becoming who you are at a fundamental level. For those ready for even deeper transformation, commit to a full 30-day prosperity immersion. This extended practice allows the new neural pathways and spiritual connections to become fully established. I've guided hundreds through this 30-day process, and the testimonials I receive are consistently extraordinary. People report not just financial improvements, but a complete shift in how they experience their relationship with abundance in all forms. The teaching I've shared today is part of what I call the Abundance Code, ancient wisdom made practical for modern prosperity. This particular 1-minute ritual is the foundation, the cornerstone upon which all other prosperity practices rest. Master this first, practice it faithfully, and you'll have established the essential energetic pattern that makes all other manifestation work infinitely more effective. Thank you for allowing me to share this sacred teaching with you. May your prosperity overflow in ways that bless not only your life, but the lives of all those around you. Remember, true abundance isn't measured only in financial terms, but in the richness of a life lived in alignment with divine purpose and possibility. And yet material prosperity is a beautiful and appropriate expression of that alignment. Claim it as your birthright. Step into the flow that has always been waiting for you. One sacred minute each morning is all it takes to begin. Shalom.